policymakers and civil society organizations, we ask that you invest in girl-focused interventions for the attainment of our national gender parity goals. This is because if a girl is not fully exposed to her true potential via a holistic education and deliberate interventions within a safe environment, no amount of interventions thrown at her in adulthood will be meaningful. I strongly hold that an effective women empowerment intervention starts with grooming empowered girls today, and it starts with us all. Sheryl Sandberg once said, "We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored." GEM is here to do its part to ensure this is made possible. We call on you and you and you to get involved today. Thank you for your attention.
An educated woman who is at the helm of affairs in the home makes sure that all her children are well educated, both boys and girls. And so it's important that we start with the girls young so that they continue with that that we have set ourselves. In addition to these, developing girls into well-informed, confident, and powerful women for governance, politics, STEM, and other equally important decision-making boardrooms will greatly shape balanced policies and decisions in the interest of all. I must admit it is devastating to hear stories of abuse of girls by people who should have ideally been trusted by these girls. It is heartbreaking to hear stories of girls dropping out of school due to pregnancy that result from rape in some instances. It is disturbing to recount the numerous incidents of sexual violations girls are exposed to in any form possible, because what they do is relevant. Before I take my seat, I call on each and every one of us to get involved. Your voice is important.
Ladies and gentlemen, the government and organizations such as GEM have been working to improve gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. But if we do not consider the unique needs and aspirations of girls, we risk losing an entire generation. And with it, any chance we have for long-term development, prosperity, peace, and security will come to nothing. As a result, it is critical to empower girls before, during, and after emergencies. So, how do we get in touch with these girls? How can we ensure that their requirements are met? How can we encourage them to pursue STEM studies more aggressively? This is where I once again congratulate GEM. Can we give them a hand of applause?
Challenges with this, it means that their ability to progress is being hindered. And that is not strange to some of us who look into the data, because if you continue to check the data, you will see that when it comes to progression, mostly the boys exceed the girls. In recent times, we are lucky by the policy of the free SHS. We have been able to bridge the gender parity gap, and now we are doing somewhere around 1:1.2. But previously, boys' ability to access secondary education always exceeded the girls. But now we are doing well. But these three subjects poses greater challenge to them. So we went to STEM, and then we asked them, what are the specific STEM subject challenges? Now you see that there too, the most talked about subject is elective mathematics. It's elective mathematics. So that also tells you something. They have problems with core mathematics in general, and those who would want to pursue STEM have problems with elective mathematics. What should the policy direction be in terms of how we handle some of these courses, specifically to improve girls' admiration and involvement in STEM education? These are the things that we want our policy makers to be looking at, so that they will not just make policy. But to them, these are untold stories. These are things they've kept within them and it's eating them up. So we ask them, have you been abused before? Any form of abuse or assaulted? 43.5% of the respondents said yes. 43.5% of the respondents said yes. Remember, we're using a sample of 2,000. So it's almost like 45% said yes, that they have been abused before. Now, imagine we escalate the sample to 10,000. Imagine the number that we are going to get. Imagine we are able to move to 20,000. Imagine the number that we are going to get. Imagine we are able to move to 50,000. Imagine the number we are going to get. Almost 45% of the respondents said they have been abused before. What form of abuses have you been or have you experienced? Now look at this. And this state, I want us to pay attention to it. 51.9%. And of course, these people have experienced different kinds of abuses. But over 50% of them said that they have been abused sexually.
Parents, teachers, help train a girl child in schools, at home, not forgetting the community at large. For in the girl child lies the hope for a better tomorrow. I salute you, the initiator of girls' empowerment. I also salute you, Girls' Excellence Movement. For had it not been you, where would we have been as girls? I say, Madam Wasi.
Before I start my scripted speech, I must say that the results and findings that this GEM report have brought out have to stun and devastate all of us. We should not leave here the same people that we came in as. And as an advisor on gender to the president, I think there's a lot that I have to say to him. Things that I knew but have been buttressed by this report. It's very important that we take this word back. And he knows it. He knows. And he's doing a lot that he is very proud of for the education of young women and girls. But to say that 50% of all girls have been sexually abused is not something we should be proud of as a nation. To say that 33% have been victims of assault is also something that we should not be proud of as a nation. We are the first to be independent in Africa. Is this the legacy that we want to leave behind? Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you today, is that the legacy you want your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your generations to come to know that this is how we started out in 2022? Yes? I can't hear you. I really can't hear you now. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider this report a call to action, as I've said. I urge you all to take the pledge to protect, preserve, and uphold the dignity of all girls. We all need to get involved. Parents, teachers, religious leaders, traditional leaders, the media, policymakers, and civil society, and of course government. I will take these issues raised and recommendations made back to the relevant leaders of government. And I will also engage with the GEM team to find and define multi-stakeholder approaches to provide a safe environment for girls to thrive and succeed, because they are the future, and we can only get a brighter tomorrow if we invest in them today. Let us uphold once again, as was said before by Madam Chairperson, SDG goal number 5, and of course the Agenda 2063, which was put out by the African Union. That is the blueprint, a 60-year blueprint for Africa's development. Both of these important documents and initiatives do well to speak to the empowerment of young girls and women directly. I also wish to call for support for the Girls' Excellence Movement as they continue this highly commendable and inspiring commitment to reshaping the perception of girls and about themselves while inspiring them to aspire to leadership across all fields. Lastly, it is with humble and an elated heart, a humble and elated heart, a humble and an elated heart, a humble and elated heart, that I render this report, sheltered yet exposed, a report on issues affecting girls' progression in schools, duly lodged.